For a second day, this main arterial route into central London remained blocked off as specialist police teams carried out a fingertip search of the scene of Sunday's attack. We know that terrorist Sudesh Aman began stabbing people here just before 2 p.m.
3 people got stabbed and...
But we still don't know if this was his original intended target or if he decided to strike because he realised he was being followed by a surveillance team.
Why they shot him?
It was these undercover armed officers, part of that surveillance team, who opened fire, fatally wounding him in front of terrified shoppers.
I thought it was a mugging, so I ran after what I thought was the mugger. And then I heard what I thought were a car backfiring. All of a sudden I saw police officers pointing what I thought was a taser to someone on the ground, and then turned round and just behind me there was someone bleeding out.
At the Bale hostel where Sudesh Aman had been staying, police have carried out searches and interviewed other residents. Like the fatal stabbings at London Bridge 2 months ago, the perpetrator in Streatham was a former terrorist prisoner who qualified for automatic release halfway through his sentence. It is deeply uncomfortable for government ministers who promised to ensure terror prisoners will spend much longer inside in the wake of the London Bridge attack. The Justice Secretary said that urgent action will now follow.
Emergency legislation to ensure an end to terrorist offenders getting released automatically, having served half of their sentence with no check or review, and that any release before the end of their sentence will be dependent upon risk assessment by the parole board.
In Bishop Stortford, another address linked to the attacker is being searched as authorities try to determine his motivation for Sunday's attack. In a very pessimistic assessment of the effectiveness of counter-extremism programmes, the Prime Minister stressed the need to ensure terror offenders are properly monitored on their release from prison.
The problems we have with re-educating and reclaiming and rehabilitating people who succumb to Islamism, it's very, very hard and very tough. And it can happen, but the instances of success are really very few.
It's all closed. Crime scene, unfortunately.
Scotland Yard said its surveillance officers acted extremely quickly to stop Sudesh Aman on Sunday afternoon, but he dashed into a local discount store and grabbed a knife in just a few short seconds. With the detailed forensic examination now at an end here, the street cleaners have moved in to prepare for the reopening of this busy thoroughfare and a return to some kind of normality. As the police cordons came down this evening, authorities said their ongoing investigation suggests this was an isolated incident, that there is no wider threat to the public. Mark White, Sky News, Streatham in South London.